It is just before 2 in the afternoon on the 27th of December, 1911, and a Manhattan courtroom falls silent. The verdict is read aloud. Not guilty. Max Blank and Isaac Harris, two factory owners, walk free. Police escort them through a hostile crowd. 9 months earlier, one of these men had locked a door. This is the disaster tape. The fireproof building, the locked door, one of the deadliest industrial disasters in New York's recorded history. Max Blank and Isaac Harris locked the Washington Place stairwell door every single working day. The reason was theft. Supervisors searched the women's bags for stolen blouses as each shift ended. Margaret Schwartz, 23, sewed shirtwaists at a machine on the crowded 9th floor. Her body would be found at that locked door, the focal charge in the criminal case. New York law already made it illegal to lock factory doors while workers were inside, but the Ash building had never been cited. No inspector had ever written it down. Locking was prohibited. So how did it walk 2 men into a not guilty verdict? Before the fire, the Ash building was a selling point. Finished in 1901, the building rose 10 stories of steel and was marketed as fireproof. That steel frame won the owners a favor. They were allowed one outside fire escape instead of the 3rd staircase the code required. There was no sprinkler system inside. There was no alarm to tell one floor that another was already burning. About 500 people filled 3 of those floors. Most were women, between 14 and 23. They were recent immigrants from Italy and from Jewish communities in Eastern Europe. They earned $7 to $12 a week for a 52-hour schedule. Those wages left workers little practical means to refuse the conditions on the floor. Among them, the Washington Place door, kept locked through every shift. Under the cutting tables, scraps of cloth and tissue paper piled up in bins all day. Max Blank and Isaac Harris owned the company, both immigrants themselves. In 1909, their workers joined a citywide strike, the uprising of the 20,000. Blank and Harris settled with workers one by one, but refused to recognize the union. The locked Washington Place door stayed exactly where it was. City inspection records showed the building as compliant, the steel frame certified, the single fire escape listed as adequate, the variants on file. But that single fire escape had never been tested. The variants had been accepted on paper. No independent test of the escape's load capacity had ever been required. The decision was small, and the owners made it every working day. The New York Times reported the morning after the fire that the Washington Place stairwell door had been locked each shift, a practice Max Blank and Isaac Harris, co-owners of the Triangle Waste Company, maintained so supervisors could inspect workers' bags, shift after shift. Supervisors waited at the one open exit and checked each woman's bag for stolen fabric. That was the reason: theft. Years later, in a courtroom, Harris testified to exactly how much that theft had cost them: less than $25 total. Across all the years the door stayed locked. New York state law already banned locking factory doors while workers were inside. The Ash building had never been cited for it, not once in years of inspections. No fire drill had ever been held inside the factory. There was no rehearsed way out and no plan for the day it would burn. You'd expect an inspector to spot a locked exit. Before that March, Blank and Harris had filed 4 fire insurance claims on their properties. An inspector followed each claim. Not one of them ever wrote down the locked door, so the door stayed locked, waiting for the afternoon it would matter. Then, at 20 to 5 on that Saturday, fire caught in a scrap bin beneath a cutter's table. It was the 8th floor, the cutting room, where fabric scraps and tissue paper piled up daily. Within minutes, the fire moved upward, through the open cutting room toward the 9th floor. A bookkeeper on the 8th floor grabbed a telephone and warned the 10th floor. Blanc and Harris escaped to the roof and crossed to the building next door. The 9th floor never got the call. The sewing women ran for the Washington Place stairs and found the door locked. Margaret Schwartz reached that door. It would not open. The bag inspection policy had sealed the one exit they needed most. The Green Street stairwell was the only open stairwell exit. Not everyone reached it. Elevator operator Gaspar Mortillaro ran his car up and down until the rails buckled beneath falling bodies. Then he too had to flee. Outside, the single fire escape buckled under the weight and the heat. It collapsed, dropping the workers on it 100 feet to the concrete. At the windows with flames behind them, dozens chose to jump rather than burn. The fire department's ladders reached only the 6th floor. The life nets split beneath them. 62 died jumping or falling from the 8th and 9th floors. On the street, a reporter named William Shepard phoned his dispatch from a call box on Washington Place. He wrote, "I learned a new sound that day, a sound more horrible than description can picture. The thud of a speeding living body on a stone sidewalk." His wire dispatch ran in newspapers across the country the following morning. The fire was out about 18 minutes after the first alarm. The New York Times had reported 141 dead the morning after the fire. The final confirmed count, completed as identification at the pier concluded, reached 146. It had taken 18 minutes. The final count settled only after every body was named at the pier. Most were women and girls. The youngest were just 14. 146 people died, more than fill a packed school assembly hall. At trial, Isaac Harris, co-owner of the Triangle Waste Company, named the very thing the locked door had been built to stop. Across all those years, the total theft losses came to less than $25. $25, less than 3 weeks of a single worker's pay. The door was locked to stop $25. It held back 146 people. That was the arithmetic. The dead went to a covered pier on East 26th Street. For days, families filed past the rows, lifting sheets to find a daughter, a sister, a wife. The youngest of them were 14. Identification was the last thing anyone could do for them. More than 100,000 people marched up Fifth Avenue to bury the dead. An estimated 400,000 lined the sidewalks to watch. On April 2nd, Rose Schneiderman, organizer with the Women's Trade Union League, took the stage at the Metropolitan Opera House. "The life of men and women is so cheap," she said, "and property is so sacred." Her workers had tried to organize 2 years before in the uprising of the 20,000. Blanc and Harris had settled with individuals, refused the union, and kept the door locked. Frances Perkins, a young reformer, had watched the workers fall from the street below. She later called it the moment that set the course of her life in public service. Now she joined the state's new Factory Investigating Commission. Its chairman was a state senator named Robert F. Wagner. Within 3 years, the commission wrote 60 new labor laws. Fire drills, sprinklers, doors that stayed unlocked. The law that could have saved Margaret Schwartz was finally being written. Accountability came down to a single question. On April 11th, a grand jury indicted Max Blanc and Isaac Harris, co-owners of the Triangle Waste Company, on 7 counts of manslaughter, a charge of causing death through criminal negligence. The focal charge was the death of Margaret Schwartz, found at the locked door. The trial opened that December before a packed courtroom. Max D. Stuer, Lead defense counsel for Blank and Harris built his whole case on one thing. Could anyone prove the owners knew the door was locked that day? Steuer took the prosecution's star witnesses apart until their stories sounded rehearsed. On December 27th, after roughly an hour and 50 minutes, the jury returned not guilty on every count. Juror Victor Steinman explained it plainly. He believed the door was locked, but the law needed proof the owners knew it was locked that day. The same gap that let the violation go uncited before the fire now walked the owners free. 3 years later, the families settled their civil suits. $75 for each life taken. Their insurer had already paid the owners hundreds more per worker than the fire had cost them. And in 1913, Max Blank was caught again. A locked factory door, the same violation. He was fined $20. Margaret Schwartz's name is on the memorial plaque at the Brown Building. Frances Perkins had stood on the street below that afternoon. The labor legislation she helped draft in the years that followed was shaped by what she witnessed there. Every year, on the 25th of March, at 4:45 in the afternoon, bells ring on Washington Place. The building still stands. These are the disaster tapes. The dead don't get a voice. We try to give them one. If that's worth something to you, subscribe. A new tape every day.